friends, we're here today to talk a little bit about the Run Right Reads book club and to do a short review of two of the books that we read recently. I'm going to be talking about the books that we read in April. If you're not familiar, the book club that I started, the Run Right Reads book club, this year we're trying to read books that are featuring the Caribbean in some way. So each month we choose two novels that are written by two different authors that are set in a Caribbean country or territory. So in January we started off with Guadeloupe and we read two female authors from Guadeloupe. In February we read two authors from Jamaica. In March we read authors from Puerto Rico, and in April we were reading books from Trinidad and Tobago. So in today's video I'm going to be talking a little bit about the books that we read in April: The Wine of Astonishment by Earl Lovelace and Golden Child by Claire Adam. These are both books that I had read before, and I was a little selfish in that I wanted to read them with my book club members and have that opportunity to discuss these books, so it was a fantastic experience. The first book we're going to talk about is The Wine of Astonishment by Earl Lovelace. This was a book that I studied in a high school literature course, and I've been thinking about it ever since, a long time ago. So, The Wine of Astonishment, the author is a man, but he gives the narrator voice in this book to a woman, which is pretty shocking in that we have this woman who is talking about the life that she and her husband are living. Her husband is the preacher for a small spiritual Baptist church, and they are facing persecution because the law in Trinidad and Tobago at the time prohibits them from worshiping in a spiritual way. So anything that has to do with incantations or calling on the spirit and getting into the spirit, that kind of thing, is outlawed. And people have been converting to Catholicism or Anglican church because that seems to be the way of progress. That is the way of the sophisticated people. So people have been converting because that is the church that people who are powerful belong to. And so in this book we are reading about the challenge that this family, this couple face. They are trying to get this man elected because they hope that he will be able to change the law on their behalf. But they're also seeing the impact that the law is having on their families and the children in their homes, what's having on their community. And one of the members of their church, a man named Bolo, who really embodies the spirit of resistance, the spirit of all the people who don't want change. And so Bolo is this person who is asking the preacher, and Eva, his wife, the narrator, and asking all the people around him to stand up and be the resistance with him, and challenging them to not give in, to not give away. So this is a really interesting book. It's really interesting take on rebellion, the desire for freedom, the quest for freedom, and what it looks like when you resist authority trying to get you to change, when really all you want is the freedom to be who you are, even if that is same, even if that is other, even if that is not the path that everyone is taking towards progress. I love this book. Earl Lovelace explores so many really interesting themes. He talks about religion and the role of religion in the lives of people, especially people who are poor, people of African descent who've been disenfranchised, taken advantage of because of slavery and then later colonialism. He talks about the desire for progress and what one sacrifices in order to gain progress, what progress looks like when you have achieved it. So he talks about the man who he talks about the impact of education and what people give in order for their children to be educated, and whether educated people still belong in the community, and the response from their community members when these educated children return and don't want the life of the people who have sacrificed to get them that education. This book is fantastic. In the book club there were a couple of people who didn't read the book, hadn't gotten an opportunity to get their hands on the book, or had started but hadn't finished it. And it is a pretty small book. It's easy to get through, but it's also not an easy book to get to because it is Caribbean fiction. It might not be in print where you live, But if you can get a copy of this book, I highly recommend it. The Wine of Astonishment by Earl Lovelace. This book is really Caribbean. It's really representative of the Caribbean spirit and what change looks like to individuals and to communities, and the fight for that change. Love this book, so highly recommend it. We also read Golden Child by Claire Adam, and this was another favorite of mine. I read this a few years ago when it was first released, I think 2019, and it's a story that I've wanted to discuss with other people because I've heard people who live in Trinidad say there are things in here that are not representative of their culture, even though I felt like there were echoes of my experience in Jamaica in this book. So Golden Child is about a family and the choice that they have to make between their children. This family, a nuclear family, they have two boys. They're twins and they are different. One was born with a slight impairment. There seems to be some kind of what they call mental retardation in this book. So he's a little slower than other children. But it's interesting because you're really questioning whether or not he is slower than all other children or just that he is slower than his brother, because his brother is gifted. His brother is one of the smartest children in their country, maybe one of the smartest children in the island. And so next to him, the impaired child looks like he is impaired, but he may just be slow. He might just be a little less than the top. So that's one thing that you have to think about. But really in this book, you're asked to explore what value you place on children, whether or not this family is right in the values that they place on their children when they're asked to choose. So we also explore what value means, whether value means protecting your children from harm or investing in what you think is their future, in their education, in their opportunities, and their access to opportunities as they get older. So what does value really mean? What do you see as golden in your children or just in other people? So in this book, Claire Adam explores family relationships and family ties and what we get from families and what families require of us. Here we are seeing various members of the family, and some are acting in ways that are detrimental to the others, and others sacrifice themselves, go to great lengths to sacrifice themselves for the good of the family members. And so, she highlights those differences and dichotomy of experiences that are available in families just because people value different things. So I also really enjoyed this book. I love how she discusses education and what it means to pursue education, and whether the ends justify the means for going towards that prize, whether you can live with yourself after some of the choices that you make in order to progress. So love both of these books and highly recommend them. These were the Run Right Reads book club reads for April. We read Trinidad and Tobago. In May, we are coming back strong. We are reading more books from the Caribbean. We're going to be reading Haiti, and so I'll put pictures up here of the two books. We're reading The Dew Breaker by Edwidge Danticat and God Loves Haiti by Cherie. I don't remember the full name of the author, so I'll just put it up here. I'll put a picture of the cover, and I invite you to read along with me. Joining the book club is as simple as reading the books. You can join our Zoom discussion. We have a Zoom chat on the last Sunday of the month, and if you're not able to join and you just want to watch these videos and comment, then you're welcome to do so as well. I'm always up for a discussion about books, so I'd love to chat with you in the comments. If you've read any of these books and want to discuss them with me here, or send me a message, would love to chat books with you. So thank you so much for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. Let's chat in the comments, and until next time, happy reading. Bye.